Hello and welcome once again to Las Vegas in Nevada for the 2018 361 World Men's Curling Championship. This is the famous Fremont Street, not far from the Las Vegas Strip. But we are inside the Orleans Arena as you see the fans piling in to see the action. And that's where the action is taking place. Session 19, China versus Scotland in the Orleans Arena. I'm Kenny Edwards and I'm joined by Sander Rolvag for this matchup. Teams making their way out onto the ice. Still lots to play for. So there's one of the teams that will be featuring this matchup. Team Scotland sitting top of the pile so far. So let's meet the teams. At lead for China is Xia Dulin. Second player, Xu Yonghao. Third, So Cha. And the skip, So Duja. Team Scotland, at lead, Hat McMillan. Second player, Bobby Lammy. Third, Grant Hardy. And skip, Bruce Mowat. Here are the standings. It's Scotland and Sweden sitting 10-1 at the top of the table. Canada and Norway also qualified for the playoffs, but there's two spots still to play off for. Switzerland, Korea, Russia and the US all in with a shout of making it through. 6 and 6 might get you a playoff spot. So here are the other matches in session 19. It's Japan taking on Sweden. Our feature matchup, China versus Scotland. Korea still in with a shout of making the playoffs. They take on Norway on sheet C. And Russia also in with a chance of making the playoffs. They take on the Netherlands. The team is just shaking hands. We won't be long till we get underway. So Sander, Team Scotland at their first World Championships and have really been very dominant, haven't they?
Yeah, very impressive. I think Bruce Mowat's just whatever he's touched in the last couple of seasons has turned into gold as World Junior Champion, Winter University Games Champion. I'm not saying he's necessarily going to be World Champion this week, but he's certainly getting close. And the team, the very young Scottish team, is just playing very brilliant so far. I think China will have their hands full this afternoon.
Yeah, we have seen China start games so well, but towards the back end of the game, they really have struggled to close things out.
Yeah, they had a good feature playing Canada yesterday. Two tough games yesterday. They had a blowout against Sweden, 7-0 after two ends, but they played really well against Canada. Ended up giving up a 3 in the 8th end that kind of killed the game, but up until then they were definitely on par with the Canadians. So no need to underestimate China by any means. I think it'll be a good one.
Will be China playing the red stones, Scotland the yellow. Scotland having last stone advantage in this matchup.
What's so surprising about Scotland being such a young team, you'd think they'd be a little more inconsistent, but they've been so stable all the way through. Just that very tight loss to Sweden. Only loss so far. And of course they are at the top of the table with them at 10-1.
Shadow Lin for China gets us underway. And this is a bit of a statement from Scotland, as we see Hammer McMillan, the 25-year-old from Stranraer in Scotland, straight out and on with the corner guard.
Bobby, it's yours.
Yeah, they want to get something going early. Not playing with too much risk this afternoon. They'll be in that semi-final either way, and they'll have a bye, a 10-1. Sweden playing next door to playing Japan. You'd probably expect them to pick up a win there. And if I'm not mistaken, Scotland would end up being ranked second with having lost to Sweden in the head-to-head. So that's how the playoff format works this year. 6 playoff spots, but the top 2 straight to the semi-finals, and ranked 3 through 6 play in the quarter-finals. And whoever's ranked 1, looking like Sweden, potentially, they would play the worst-ranked team coming out of the quarter-finals.
Yeah, completely new setup for the World Championships this year.
Well, I like it. It's a good mix between the straight semis and the page playoff. You get a pretty good advantage for being top 2 with that bye to the semi-final, but at the same time you get those straight knockout games. And we'll have 6 pretty fun ones as well, 2 quarterfinals, 2 semis, a gold and a bronze game. So if the round robin hasn't been exciting enough, I think we'll be in for a real treat this weekend.
Judge.
This is Xu Yonghao, the second player on Team China.
Himself being a little bit inconsistent throughout the week. So it's important for him to have a good day if China's going to match Scotland this afternoon. That's a bit of a mistake there, just robbing off the yellow. Leaves it exposed.
Yep. I was just like roll to freeze. They're perfect level. Okay.
Oh, that's right, roll that way then. Other way.
Yeah. Barrier.
This might cut a wee bit, but it should be okay. Flash shot. Yeah.
Nose is all right.
So that red just sitting out in the open.
Yeah,
I believe the call might have been the hit and roll in on top. Was that Sander?
Well, they were looking to do that, but because they're perfectly level, it's pretty hard to do. So I think the call in the end just try and check to the wing.
Other way, Bruce.
Other way.
Obi Lami's first stone. He's been on fire in this round robin stage. Hopefully he can bring that into the playoffs as well. And in the end, they do overcurl and just roll corner frozen on their own yellow.
Well, they are the rules of play. It's 6 ends minimum in the round robin stages, 38 minutes thinking time and 160-second timeout.
Game is scheduled for 10, and obviously hoping for at least that in this one.
China sitting 1 in behind the yellows there.
Yeah, quite often you like to remove your opponent's stones, but because they're frozen on top of their own red, it's kind of hard to do, so just ignore it for now and just come up right around everything and sit 2. Looking really good here. That's a perfect draw. Zhu Zhangtao. Slight upset on the first one, but just perfect line. You can see the nice finish on the ice as well. Being able to just fully bury around the rock, that's just in the top 8. It's real good. So overall, it's curling about 4 feet and change, but it has that nice finish. So
yeah, this is Bobby Lammy, the second player.
Yeah, looking to make a play on the yellows here. Try to roll away, try and leave some separation on the yellows, push that red stone back. He's done that quite nicely.
Nice, Bobby. Still see your head down the game there.
I really like that weight. How about?
就是掉在晚上的。
这边稍微掉点。击打我没事，头有掉的稍微大一点。
看板偏小一点啊，看板偏小。
我，零，
看板偏小。我，
这里我。
No，
头，头。
Well, does enough to squeeze that yellow to the back ring.
Okay.
But a few yellow stones beginning to build up, Sander.
Yeah, it's always a worry if you don't have the last stone, keeping too many opponent stones in the rings. Knowing the upweight ability of the Scottish team, in particular Bobby Lammy and Grant Hardy coming up, that could put you in some trouble. And I believe the double is called for Grant Hardy, 26 years old. Trying to lift the two reds here. Of course he'll do that. Scotland all of a sudden sitting 4. Well, they gave up a 4 to Sweden in the first end yesterday, China. That was after quite a sloppy end. They haven't really missed too many shots in this end, China, but they've left too many stones around and find themselves in a bit of trouble now.
Yeah, having to go after one in behind a corner guard, that's not really what they want to play.
It's a bit of a snug port as well. Having to come pretty close to that red stone to get the roll. Hardy has done quite well to leave his shooter fully open in the top 8 as well, so even if China makes the roll or gets into the forfeit, Scotland can always promote that stone.
He's through the port and gets to the nose. Oh, is that going to hang around? He hasn't removed it, so he's left 4 yellows in play.
That's why I wasn't a huge fan of that call, maybe. It's just very hard to get the roll.
I think if you throw the right weight, the roll just happens.
Through the port was one thing, but
Oh yeah, you do. What are you doing?
catch it thin enough to roll.
Okay, just right in.
Looked pretty tough, but it's pretty much the same call for Scotland here. Again, they'll have to come very tight to that red stone, red guard.
Just body.
Yep. Weight's good.
Most important for them is just to kill this red. Even if they jam in the back, they'll be line 3 at least, probably 4. But he's going to just play this one perfect. And Scotland now with a fistful of stones in the house.
That's right.
Nice. It's good there, eh?
Yeah.
Well, China all in Las Vegas in this end, electing to draw the back of the forfeit. Will the gamble pay off?
Well, you're pot committed now, as they would say in poker. There's no reason to start hitting the yellows. Even if you get a double here, still giving up a 3 or 4. That's quite big. So China feeling quite invested in this first end, and they'll have to keep taking the risk and try and force an error from Scotland.
Set okay. 8区。8区。零。8区。8区。set okay。头。好，不用下线，跟着啊。
Must make shot for So do Ja.
全力往后。
He does make this perfect. Scotland can still run that yellow up though.
That's why they don't mind bringing this a little bit deep as well. Just trying to bury, but leave some distance between that red stone and the top yellow. China only really needs one miss though from Scotland here to salvage the end. If they get it here, they'll have a chance to come in and sit two, potentially take the whole end away from Scotland.
Well, if they make this run back, there could be a potential shot for 7 though, Sander.
For sure.
Yeah, try not to stick it, yeah.
That's the thing though, it's building up really nicely for Scotland, but it's almost like you're tippy-toeing just now because you need to make every shot. One miss from Scotland here, and the whole house of cards could fall apart.
Bruce Mowat, his skip for Team Scotland. Quite a bit of weight in this one. Oh, a little unlucky there. Wanted that yellow stone on the button to move ever so slightly to the right.
Yeah, did get a wee bit of a roll, but be better to roll further away, just because it's behind the tee line. So it's something China then can freeze onto. So you see where that settles down there, just right behind that pin. China now can make the freeze, ideally even over bury this one, which is pretty tough to do, having to come pretty close to that top yellow. Could take the end away from Scotland. Actually, Sodoja had a very similar chance to take away the big end from Sweden in the first end when they played yesterday morning.
Well, they've jumped on this one early.
Yeah, he did miss that shot yesterday, but a bit closer now. Sweepers on and off, so.
Has it got the weight? Is it past? Oh, hair's past. But the same shot is there.
It's a good attempt, just had to be that all the way, try and get that frozen on the shot stone. It's pretty much the same shot, like you said, Kenny, for Bruce Mowat. Run that onto the red. Still a few catchers though.
Very tight to this top yellow.
Yeah, it just needs to be just as tight with 2 feet more weight, and that's a perfect shot. Could potentially jam on the back yellow. Would cut down the score somewhat. Well, this could be huge. Could be the game right here.
Just needing to move this red out the 4 foot. McMillan on the broom. Have they made it? There it goes. 1, 2. Takes it over the top.
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the first end for Scotland. Wow, what a start.
It was hard to do much better than that. Scoring 7 was pretty hard to do. I think you'll take a 6 any day.
Just that was trying to be too perfect.
Yeah, if you roll the wide, real wide.
Well, so after the first end, it is China 0, Scotland 6.
You're going to lose 13 for a second.
A big score of 6 for Scotland in the first end against China. That's the score as we head into the second.
Like it. Top 8, top 4.
That should run then, Bob.
Waist nice.
Scotland will now try and keep things nice and tidy, Sander. Do you not think?
Yeah, you think so. Very seldom you say that after the first end of a game. You know, just let's peel this one away, bring it home. But I think that's the mindset you probably need to have here if you're Scotland. Although, you know, 9 ends to go, you can't be too defensive. And sometimes it's a bit tough when you get a big score in the first end. Just trying to gauge how defensive you want to be. Obviously, if you play very defensively, it's easy for China to score at least a 2 back. You can't do that for the whole game. So you might even see Scotland throw a tight centre guard on this one, potentially. Just to keep the play up a wee bit, but normally you just bring the second one in as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what the call was, just a tight guard.
Yeah, so just thinking, no need to
Top 12. Line's good.
too defensive here, too early.
No, line's good.
So I'll put a few rocks in play and make it difficult for China.
Line's really nice. It's good now. Top 12.
We'd love to force China to score a 1 here, get the last on advantage back, and try and just control the game.
Bob, you're gonna have
But welcome into the ring zone, which is a perfectly fine option.
No bother. That's fine.
Yeah, it's a lot better than 3 or 4 sheet short of the house and not covering the yellow.
It's a devastating blow to China. Very tough to just focus on this task at hand now, knowing you're 6 down. But China's very, you know, as a team with a lot of structure. They never seem too phased. They just get on with it and do what's needed of them. Very professional, but still, just mentally, very tough to do your best here now, knowing the game is potentially over already.
Okay.
Off for the corner guard, Bobby Lammy. So let's take a look at Japan versus Sweden. Nicholas Edin with last stone advantage. Looks like he's been forced into a single point. Is this one going to pull up in time? Oh, it just does. So a bit of a force for Japan, but it's Sweden who lead that one, 1-0. Over on sheet D, the Netherlands are taking on Russia. Jaap van Dorp for the Netherlands with his final stone. A hit for 2. Oh, he makes it. So, Netherlands 2-0 after one. So chat for China. It's going to be an uphill struggle now, Sander, isn't it?
Yeah, very tough. And you know, same happened playing Sweden yesterday, as we mentioned a few times, gave up a 4. Ironically, they played a better first end here than yesterday. Scotland made everything. So I think you might need to revisit some of the calls you're making on that first end, especially when you're playing a side like Sweden or Scotland, who's obviously just on fire. And maybe be a bit more cynical, and definitely make sure you're not leaving too many opposition stones around, because that's what China ended up doing. Just didn't remove any of the yellows, left them all around. As long as you have good takeout players like a Grant Hardy here, you know, those counters might come into play, and they sure did for Scotland.
Good. Pings one of the reds off, holds the yellow at the back as well. As you see, Alan Hanna, the coach for Team Scotland, has been a coach for Bruce Mouat for a number of years.
I believe also coached at the World Junior Championship. That was held in Aberdeen. Scotland picking up a silver on the men's side. Ross White, skip on that team. So, yeah, Scottish teams certainly doing well this season.
Well, this one from chat, sliding right through. And there is a coach that will not be happy with the start of the game, Marcel Rock. He certainly wasn't smiling 5 minutes ago, and he wasn't smiling last night in the lift when I met him either.
That normal weight you give us again. Bruce, do you want me to call for nose and just get rid of this?
Yeah, I think Team China certainly have more potential than they've maybe shown this week, but you know that happens.
Yeah, right.
A team can have a good week, a team can have a bad week. And the field here very strong as well.
Normal. Hey, throw. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep, yep.
Yeah, just looking for the run back on this. Looking to spray everything. Don't leave anything back at the house.
Well, made 2 perfect ones on the first end, and I'll keep making this like it's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, freeze opportunity, so they'll come down on the in turn. Swing out towards the 2 yellows at the back of the 12 foot. Just hope for a mistake. Well, sticks that one right in there. problem is, Scotland's already sitting one up the top right. It's a very good effort.
Yeah. Here's fine.
That's okay too, yeah.
Who'd you get that hog to hog?
14.
Out 14, out 14 3.
14, it's really nice. Cool. Wade's good down here, boss.
Yeah. Good to show you your positive. 10's good.
Yeah. 10 positive.
I'm just going to look to split the house, get a bit of separation between the
Top 4.
Yep.
two yellows, and I'm sure Scotland wouldn't mind giving up 2 here.
Right, stay out just now. Back in. Back ones, Bruce.
You'll
You don't
not have
them
backing
yet.
on this
no,
line.
No, no, no.
No
Right
backing
off.
on this line. No, Bob. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Off.
Can't go.
Off. You're
Got
okay.
him.
You're okay.
Close.
Off. You're okay. We're there. We're bouncing a wee bit.
Just looking to come up and rest against them, as long as he sits second.
Aye, good enough.
Okay, Bruce.
Sorry.
Yep.
That's fine.
It's still there. Huh? I mean, force would be. Force still there.
Yeah, quite tough to get to here now.
I don't think the run off the wide yellow into the back yellows there, to be honest, for 2.
Yeah, I think it's just not on really. It's a tough thing to swallow after giving up 6. All you want to do is score 2 back, and now it's impossible. Now we saw some deflation from Sodhu Jha in that Sweden game. Was drawing against 3 in the second after giving up 4, came up short, left a steal. So hopefully able to focus on the task at hand here, get the 1.
He does have a little bit of backing. The risk with backing, though, is just put that little bit extra weight on it. It runs straight and pulls up.
That's why they were just taking the edge of 8 here, just drawing right to the button, no backing in play. Sweepers needing to go for this one, but looking pretty good.
Yep, that's a score of 1 for China. They trail by 5 after 2 ends. So it's China 1, Scotland 6. Underway in the third end. China are trailing by 5. The score is China 1, Scotland 6. Big score of 6 for Scotland in the first end. Great run back by Bruce Mowat. It's very hard for teams to focus, both when you're so many ahead and when you're so many behind, Sander.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like you said, is being down, it's tough to keep it going, but actually when you're big up in the game, it's sometimes easy to not be perfectly focused. You're all too relaxed, and all of a sudden you miss a shot here and there. So very important for Scotland to just keep it going. Just don't even look at that scoreboard. Just,
Top 4. Really close.
just make the shots.
Line's good.
Gotta go. Hard then.
Weight's good. No top peak. Room now. Gotta go.
Yeah, there's no room for complacency with 10 ends of curling.
Really
Top
good.
4.
So grand.
Good feet, boys. Good.
Yeah, it's just really important, Team Scotland, to stay focused. Don't want to give up a silly steal of 2 in the third or the fourth.
4还行。哇，你上
力量。4。
4-5。4-5。
顶线顶线，
5。
后面吊上
力，量大能旋过来啊！
顶线能站。5站。
5。
5。Yes. Yes. Hard. Hard. Okay.
A good freeze from
好球。
Shadowlin.
Yeah.
Right in the nose good as well.
Yeah, still, trust this stone's the same speed.
Give us the same. Race good.
Here more. Here more.
Good.
Here more.
Race good. Whoa. Line only. Whoa.
It's just looking to come down and
Weight's really
tap
good.
this
Yeah.
red
Oi.
and then bump the yellow back.
Gotta go.
Hard.
You've got to go then.
Bouncing.
Still hard. Still hard. Still hard.
Good sweep, man.
Nice, Army.
Pulled pretty aggressively, that one.
Yeah. I gotta go to here.
Yeah.
Okay.
As we jump over to Korea versus Norway, it is Stefan Wallstad having to draw.
Linja er bra. Litt trang om nå. Nei, linja er bra, bare fart.
Looking rather concerned about this one.
Fire. Kjør nå med en tida. Hard.
But that one sits in the forefoot, and it's a score of 1. So it's Norway 1, Korea 0 after 2 ends.
Hard. 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 Hard.
Japan versus Sweden, Go Aoki facing 3 Swedish counters, having to draw for his single point. He did force Nicholas Edin in the first to draw for his single, so the tables turn now. Can he hold his nerve? Yeah, I think so. He scores a single to tie the game at 1-1 after 2 ends.
OK， 站。站完。
Xu Younghao.
2。
实在是。
下去。行了 OK。
Being asked for a centre guard.
2-3。
身就不行了。
Did not look very happy with that throw.
3。
Almost thought he hogged it by his reaction, but I think it's just still a bit heavy.
向前来一点点。
Good curling players, they can quite often sense just
那边一碰就闪。
对啊。
that release if that stone is a bit shy or a bit heavy. Of course, there are times where you think it's golden and it's not.
Oh, Scotland really firing now,
Real good.
tidying things up, getting rid of the red stones.
closer than Bobby thought, I think.
Eh?
They were closer together than Bobby thought. 7-8, that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
That's all he needed to do, was make sure both of them went.
Sometimes I wonder what he's using.
Which one? Bobby. So they were actually a lot closer than we thought.
Only that between them.
7-8 should have been. I hit 7-8. Sorry, 3/4 would have been that. You know, when he said 3/4, like, oh, no, no, 7-8. Come on.
Interesting to find out what Marcel Rock sees to Team China at the 5th end break.
Yeah, we'll have some time to think about it. Grant
Hardy just going to peel this guard off, open things up, ensure that there's a pass to the forefoot.
This way.
Yeah, Scotland, you know, they're lying shot stone, so China will have to make a move at some point. So you just want to open the front, let China make that move. No guards in play, and they can just blast away. Of course, China knows this, so just trying to delay the move as long as possible. If they come in too early, they'll give too many chances for Scotland to tidy things up. So just a bit of the old cat and mouse game for the time being.
Okay.
You're thinking big weight?
Okay.
Well, I was thinking less to try and keep that.
We don't really need to.
Okay. 3/4.
So a lot of good communication between the team and Bruce Mowat.
Let's try and hit the back one thin. Yeah.
Good understanding of what is actually needed.
So the slash, the red here, Castro yellow onto red. That is just perfect from Grant Hardy.
Good effort.
Spin it, Harney. Spin.
Nearly got it to spin back in.
Well, you can see that China wasn't even sweeping that one, so they seem to be all
dejected, a little flat at the moment.
Yeah, which is understandable.
There's no real excuse for giving up 6 in the first end, though, is there, Sander? I mean, you can understand giving up a 6 later in the game when you're chasing it or you're trying to steal, but to allow yourself to be so wide open.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to revisit that end. It wasn't that I don't think they were making too many horrendous calls, but certainly played with risk. Yeah, actually didn't miss too many shots. Well, Scotland made everyone to perfection. Could not force an error from the Scottish side.
It's not that fresh, I think.
Well, we max.
Up and down it.
I think it'll be fine.
Do you get this?
Even if we're only here. Okay. Copy. Copy.
Just give me centre line.
Right.
Centre line.
Bruce Mowat just going to go round this corner guard, the only one that's in play. And you think, why is he going round the corner guard when he's 5 stones ahead?
Waist good. I don't think it's down.
It's his last stone,
Back tee. Back line.
so there's no danger.
Ah, we're struggling.
Worse.
Where are you?
We're struggling.
12.
We're back 12 plus.
Stay close on this.
I've got you through.
Yeah, we're through.
Not sure if he gave that the best go. It's actually through, so giving the opportunity back to China. I guess that was the only small danger, was leaving China to come around, but often you see Bruce Mount miss the rings. Probably just a bit quicker than he was thinking there. So not looking too good for steal for China, but they could get the force here, come around that corner, force Bruce Mount to score their one.
So Duja also looks as if he's played this one a little heavy. Super standing back right off of this one.
确定吗？确定。站 ，clean， hold， hold， 头 ，hold， hold， go， 朝到底。
Trying to hold this one straight,
再来，再来。
so it catches the back yellow. Just hangs around.
Go sleep.
You know, China has now already had the record for biggest score given up so far in the competition. Gave up a 5 to Italy, but that was, like you said, much later in the game, where they took some risk. Has now improved that a record to 6. Also giving up a 4, giving up some big ends.
Yeah, I think Marshall Rock doesn't mind having stones in play, so that's probably the way they've been coached. But if you're going to play with lots of opposition stones around, you've got to make sure that you make every shot, and especially the skip. So you just need this one fully 12 for Bruce Mount to pick up a single.
Gotta go, Hammy, gotta go.
Never in doubt. The sweepers won't possibly agree. But it's a single on the board for Scotland. They now lead 7-1 after 3 ends.
I got this 14-9. Nice, Bruce.
Okay.
That's good.
Fourth end of this 361 World Men's Curling Championship from
Line's good.
Las Vegas. That's China trailing Scotland by 6 points, 7-1 on the scoreboard.
Line's really good. Top 4. You got it.
I'm
45.
Ken Edwards and I'm joined by Sander Rolvag.
Have a look.
Sander,
Good feet.
what did China need to do to to get anything from this game.
Just keep playing like they've always been playing this week. Don't want to look at that scoreboard. Just play end for end. Try and get some positives out of it. Try and score a couple of twos. And of course, if you ever end up scoring a 3 and picking up a steal, you might get some hope. But Scotland, very good front runners, good hitters. They would need a complete lack of focus to let China back in this one. Six ends are required. It's a minimum hands to be played. But after that, it's up to either team to shake hands if they want to concede the game.
Line's good. Top it. On it. Bob then. Bob. Bobby.
It's kind of nice. There's not many sports you get to do that, actually.
Yeah.
Or football or soccer. 5-0 down, an hour to play. Just shake hands. Leave the pitch.
Shadulin again going with the corner guard. The opposite side this time.
Thank you.
Yeah, keeps them pretty level. Two good corner guards, no double for Bobby Lammy. Just have to focus on one at a time here. Certainly got some tape around his fingers. Potentially some blisters from the sweeping.
Yeah, it's a long week for these athletes.
You know, the dry air and the Nevada desert as well. It's probably not helping that.
Yeah, I was just speaking to Grant yesterday evening, and he's saying that they're going to be on the road for 5.5 weeks. So
it's a lot of traveling.
It's a lot of traveling.
They had a good season, I have to say. The first thing they did, I believe, went to Canada. Oakville won 2 tournaments back-to-back, undefeated both. Of course, just picked up the title at was that the curl, Aberdeen. Can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, the curl Aberdeen tour event.
Of course, they went undefeated through the Scottish Championship as well.
Yeah, and then won a playoff to actually get here, so had to basically win twice to guarantee their spot at the World Championships. That was a draw for Nicholas Edin, scoring 2 against Japan. They now lead 3-1.
Yeah, we got to see new teams, both at the women's and now the men's. Hannah Fleming represented Scotland and North Bay. Got off to a bad start, but picked up some big wins in the end. So just didn't have the best start to the week, really. Could have been completely different another week.
Yeah, one more win, they would have seen them into the playoffs. Managed to beat Sweden in the last round robin game, I believe.
What do you prefer? On this one, the corner freeze inside our yellow. We can't get rid of it. Mike knows why we can. Okay. 7-8 or nose. I think so, yeah. Turn you phone. Yeah, you get here high and roll. Right nose. Whoa.
you're good.
Grant Hardy just trying to squeeze this one through the middle. And he does that.
Good, Grant.
Leaves Scotland sitting 3.
Well, it's been a while since Scotland picked up gold at the World Men's Curling Championship. I believe you have to go all the way back to 2009.
Do that perfect, you're take it out play.
2009, I think that's when Scotland finished 8th at the Europeans in Finland. And that meant that Scotland didn't guarantee their spot at the Worlds.
Well, picked up the win. David Murdoch beating Kevin Martin in a very infamous game. That Kevin Martin threw away his first stone. Murdoch or Muddy made a nice tap, and double was not made by Canada. Gold medal, but it's been a while. You think Scotland's hungry for more?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this young Bruce Mowat doesn't show any signs of feeling the pressure out there, and neither does this guy. Had a slow start to the week, Grant, but he's begun to find his feet. Just cut out the silly little mistakes, and he's now really firing on all cylinders.
Well, it's not a bad thing to be becoming increasingly better throughout the championship. Top your form into the playoffs. Don't need to burn all your fuel. And we've seen the Scottish guys being quite social. Obviously, they have a huge following, lots of friends and family coming in, but they're not hiding. They're not just stuck in the rooms all day. They'll come out and chat and hang out with friends. So, you know, is that something that could eat up a lot of energy, or is that just a way to relax between games?
Well, I think someone that needs to relax between the games is so chat. Yeah, I think it depends what works for you. Some guys just like going out and interacting with the fans. Others like to shut themselves away and really focus on the job in hand. That's not to say that Bruce and the guys aren't focused on the job in hand. It's just the way they roll.
Yeah, I think if you think about curling and focus on the games 24/7 through 10 days, it could be a bit fatiguing. So just to break that up, and just any other activity really, you know, obviously Las Vegas will offer quite a few things to do, shows, roller coasters, anything you'd like in warm weather, hanging out poolside.
This is a safe call.
It's not the worst place in the world to kill a few hours anyway.
83% for Bruce Mowat.
Yep. Hard. Hard.
Here, Bruce.
Couldn't hear you shout now. Huh? Couldn't hear you shout. I wasn't shouting very loud.
It's only really
Ken all was fine, but I was like, hard.
He's got to do that there, and I'd always run.
Yeah. I didn't call you on to all that.
Soduja, 78%. I like them to play the hit and roll off this yellow rather than draw in behind. Doesn't quite make it. All Scotland will need to do is just peel that right out of there. Slight smile there though by Soduja.
China never Won a World Championship on the men's side. Never medalled, in fact. Would have been a huge thing to do for Soldierja, but I'll have to try again next year. Only been 10 different nations has medalled at the men's World Championship. Not too surprisingly, Canada is on top with 36 gold medals since the first World Championship in 1959, if you include that year, which would be, I believe, the start of the Scotch Cup, a 5-game championship between Canada and Scotland. I believe Canada won all their games that first year, held in various places in and around Scotland.
Yeah. Horse.
Final stone for Soldierja. Drawn down into the 4-foot. They get another one on the board, but they are still facing an uphill battle. They trail Scotland by 7-2.
现在一区他让他选5区的话，
So back with the action. It's the 5th end of the 361 World Men's Curling Championships. China trailing Scotland 7 points to 2.
OK， 好球。
China throwing the long centre guard. Maybe later in the game you would see teams try and tick this, but no real need.
Yeah, just as often, just important to get in there. Get a good stone, top 4, top 8. Just to kind of take away that straight draw for China to get there. Probably throw another centre guard, and then they'll be looking to come around those guards. But if Hammy can place a stone, just maybe even halfway in the 4-foot, makes it a lot harder for China. You might see them play in the tech on the second stone. If they ever wanted to. Just a freeze call by China. So, a little surprised by that, actually. Figured you throw a second centre guard here. That's not necessarily the case, but maybe China's kind of given up on this game and now just playing end for end. Definitely 2 centre guards would be the way to go if you wanted to really try and steal here.
Hard.
Oh, perfect freeze in on top.
Coming the other way and changing the angle.
Oh, the other way, out turn, change the angle.
Actually, it's so long.
In turn's fine.
this way.
One of
Yeah,
them
okay.
centre line. If you come this way and leave out there, coming around the out turn.
Is that more ice?
No.
Just looks like you have to come out.
Nah. T-line! Very good.
Whoa there.
Touchless.
Line's nice.
Top four!
Line's really nice.
Top four!
Oh,
Yep.
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 Hard line.
Hard! Top four!
Really hard line.
Weight's good. Hard! Touch.
I'm not surprised that Scotland didn't try and chip that long guard and split it.
Not when you have Hammy McMillan playing so well. Nothing really seems like a huge risk. It's a very nice corner freeze on that red. Of course, his father, quite a familiar character as well.
Yeah, certainly a character. He's here, watching his son, former world and European champion.
I believe 99 was the last time his father would jump to the top of the podium at a World Championship.
So let's take a look at Russia versus the Netherlands. Yeah, Van Dorp, 4-1 ahead. Chance to extend that lead. Hitting this wide red, hits and rolls in for the single. It's actually a double for potentially three. Just caught that one a little bit too thick. So the score now 5-1 after 4. Scotland did move that guard at the first opportunity.
不用下，不用下，还在走，我，好球。
And continue to remove the guard. A little bit of cat and mouse between China and Scotland with this one. Grant Hardy. His chance to tidy things up. Peels the guard. Leaves that fully open now.
We saw a similar situation earlier in the game where Scotland is shot stone, knowing China will have to make a move. They're happy peeling the guard, just waiting for that move to happen.
发力了，我给了。
正
常，不要下线。
站位，站位。
行。
站位，站位。
行。哎。稍微小一点。
They're just going to peel this clean, or they're going to try and drive this one in, Sander?
I think they'll just keep peeling it clean, to be honest.
Clean.
Keep it this dynamic. Hard. All inside that one.
Again, it's China really having to make a move. Right now, it's a decent score for Scotland, potentially a draw for 2.
They're going to come down and hit this one just inside of nose. Try and hold 2 reds. Maybe roll one in behind the corner.
Wall. Hard. 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 Whoa. Hard. Whoa.
Makes the double. Squeezes both yellows through. It's a nice shot from Sodujat.
Yeah. Make sure we stay top team. No, it's fine. He's got to make a roll.
We're going to jump back to the first end. And there you see Scotland with 6 counters in play. Bruce Mowat trying to run this back. Makes contact with the red, squeezes it out the side door. And that's why they are 7-2 ahead at this point in the game. What a start for Scotland.
Yeah, just made every shot in that end. Bruce might also made the run back on his first one.
Not yet.
It was a freeze attempt on the last by China, but pulled up just a wee bit short. Now it makes another good one and 6 points on the board. Can't say that very often. In fact, it is the biggest end we've seen at the World Championship this year.
That's fine.
Huh?
That's fine.
I have to play a hit and roll.
Eh?
I have to play a hit and roll for one then.
How?
So let's take a look over on sheet C. Kim Cha-min for Korea. There's a chance to hit for 2. Pool level with Norway.
Really important game for Korea in terms of playoff contention. Norway, of course, already qualified, but they'll be looking to improve the record as much as possible, have the highest rank.
Well, back here, nice hit and roll from Sodujat. Bruce Mowat's going to have to play a double. Things not all going Scotland's way in this 5th end.
Go high. Yep, and turn this. Yep, and turn. So high. You stick it about, you stick it about. If you get it perfect, you've got a blank. Snake level.
Final stone of the 5th end. Bruce Mowat looking for the run back double. Sticks it on the nose, and it's a steal of 1 for China, but they still trail at the break. A massive deficit to try and get back. They are trailing 7-3. First end, Scotland's Bruce Mowat with a chance to possibly pick up 7 if he can make this run back perfect. Drives the yellow back onto the red. The red goes out the side door, and it was a massive score of 6. Second end, Scotland sitting 2. Soudija being forced to draw the forefoot with his final rock for a single point. (6-1) they trailed after 2. Fourth end. Once again, Scotland sitting 2, leaving nothing for China. And that one drifts into the forefoot. Elsewhere in session 19, tight affair on sheet A. Japan trailing Sweden by 1. 3-2 the score there. Korea and Norway on sheet C tied at 2-2. And Netherlands 5-1 up on Russia.
So you have to weigh. It's not wrong. But when it's heavy. It's heavy to play this way.
Obviously don't mind playing first end.
Sag that water, please, right, will you?
Yeah, you too.
I don't know whose it is, but I'm going to drink it.
Aye, alright then.
Who bought peanut butter?
I did.
Fucking disgusting.
No, quite right.
Right, but nobody else does.
I think everyone but you and me likes peanut butter.
Fucking disgusting. Fucking rank.
Just looking at the stats as well, Scotland, you see them outscoring China. Maybe not by as much as the scoreboard will tell you, but you know, it's all down to that first end, really. And China did make quite a few shots in that first end, just didn't make them well enough, and Scotland made all of theirs. And since then, China's been throwing a lot of guards as well, so that's up their stats a little bit. The scoreboard is really the only thing that counts, though.
Some of the Scottish fans in to watch this matchup. They really have been enjoying their time here in Las Vegas. So into the sixth end of this 361 World Men's Curling Championship. 7-3 the score. Scotland with last stone advantage in the sixth. What would the team talk have been, Sander, at the fifth end from both coaches?
Well, apart from trying to figure out what snacks to eat, I don't think for Scotland there's much to say, really. Just, you know, keep focused, like we talked about. You're up big in the game. It's just try not to let your shoulders too down. Don't make sure there's no room for complacency, and just keep making your shots. Take one stone at a time, at least one end at a time. Try and see this one out. For China, it's almost the same, really. It's you know, you had a rough start to this one, but just keep going. Try and score a 2. You know, finish on a high note somehow. That is a great tech shot by Hammy McMillan. So now allowed to remove those guards from play. If it hits the board, it is replaced as it sits in the free guard zone for now. 4-rock rule. But he's allowed to tick them over, split it open, just make sure to keep that forfeit open so Bruce Mouat can draw in for one. That's really the main goal for Scotland, to score a point here, and they're good.
Again, electing just to play the tick shot on the centre guard as we take a look over on sheet D. Denmark. Sorry, Netherlands. Sitting at least 2 or 3. Alexei Timofev trying to draw for one. Having to sweep this one pretty hard. Just need a piece of the forefoot. That's made. So they now trail 5-2 to the Netherlands. Well, 2 perfect tick shots from Hammy McMillan.
Yeah, leave some catchers though. So China would probably want to throw that centre guard a bit higher. I don't think you're going to get a clean miss on appeal from Bobby Lamie. So you might as well throw that a little higher. Makes it harder for Scotland to peel the guard without jamming on one of those side stones. And we've seen that before. You can jam on one of those and spin right back onto the centre line for a guard or even in the house.
Yeah, continuing to throw the centre. That's a little bit better.
So, try to do something, aye.
Pretty thin. Third. Okay. Yep. Goes. Yep. All right. Hard. Hard.
Hey, Bob.
Feet.
So there are the stats for third player, So Cha. not having his greatest game.
下点，差不多，下点，能走。下点。
Well, still putting that quite level with the other Reds, so pretty easy to PLS on the intern. Quite tall a game today, Grant Hardy. As you mentioned, Kenny, just playing better and better. And I'll make the double here as well, so just to take away one of those catchers.
That's a hard shot to call. Oh, why? Did you catch?
Huh?
Did you catch?
I caught about third.
Still throwing the center guard. See if Scotland peels again.
Okay.
And then China would probably have to come around those two corner guards on the next one.
Good.
You and I thought I was just going to hug the line.
Well, I'll take 2 seats right here so you got this. Oh, we're good.
Now China electing to draw in behind. What's the thinking with this?
Well, hopefully they're thinking to come around to try and at least set 2, or at least set 1, and at least force Scotland to take their single point. We need to come around too deep here. You might see Scotland just follow you. So
okay.
just top house, anywhere buried.
下楼 OK，
下线，
放一放，放一放线，
下线，
50，
掏，掏，hold， hold， 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 hold，
hold， hold。
Probably does the trick. Just top of the tee line is a pretty good draw by Sodo Ja, but Bruce Moud will try and follow. It's a very risk-free way of maybe even setting up for score 2 here, knowing they'll be forced to take a 1 now with that in behind the guard. Might as well try and get 2 points.
For that 1, just to hear more positive.
Yeah, I'll run nice at 43 and then.
So look at the corner freeze, the Redstone.
Here more.
Always tougher to freeze stones around the corner guard along the centre line, just because you're having to sit on an angle to get shot stone. But if he makes it very tough for China.
Race good. Race nice. All here. How big?
Bouncing.
Back 4, back.
Bar through.
Back 12.
This one looks a little heavy from Bruce Mowat. First
I thought you called line
mistake
earlier,
from
that's why I jumped down. I thought you called line when I
Scottish
jumped
skip.
down. Sorry.
Throwing that one right through.
We did actually see that earlier in the game. He also had a draw to the wing that went all the way through. So potentially just not focused enough, Bruce Mowat. But I'm sure he'll up his focus a wee bit for the next one. He'll be facing 2 Redstones. It seems like China is drawing to the centre line here, so maybe top 12. Just so Scotland can't play the nose hit. Force Mowat to draw, and well, we just saw him draw through the house, so why not? The other option here could to be just come around the guards again. think they're going to have to work this really hard to get even a piece of the house. Builds up way short. I think they'll get their force though anyway, China.
Question is, will China continue trailing by 8 points to 3?
60 offers.
Yeah, you can take 10 feet off if you want.
Final stone for Bruce Mowat, and the 6th end needs fully 8 foot.
Line over here. Gotta go, Bob.
Gotta go.
Oh, they're working this one really hard.
Hard.
Come on, Bobby.
Hard.
Have they done enough?
Hard. Hard. He's fully.
Oh, they worked that one hard and it's not. It's another steal for China. 7-4. China clawing their way back into this game. So after a positive start from Scotland, they're beginning to allow China back in it. After 6, it's China 4, Scotland 7.
I used to like so slow.
I honestly don't mind that side speed if he just throws it. Yeah. It just didn't look like he threw it.
Seventh end of this 361 World Men's Curling Championships. China trailing 7-4.
1了。OK。哎。
You're making the text. Make him again.
Wait, nice wait. Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, Bobby.
Wayne's really good.
Hi, McMillan played 2 great tick shots.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Just looking at that. It's a little strange that Bobby Lammy doesn't seem to have any socks on, so there's not many players out there play without socks on their feet. Dropping this one just over the hog line.
Here, Les.
Again, they'll go for the tick.
This is 6.
Nice weight.
This is 6. This
Whoa.
is 1 nice.
Whoa. Whoa. Nice weight. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Chips it out, and another great shot by Hammer McMillan. Opens things up. If you've got a lead that can do that, end on end, you are going to be in a strong position if you're tight coming home.
Oh. Whoa.
Okay.
Another centre guard played.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Doesn't need to remove any of the other guards that are in play. Just open things up. It's a carbon copy of N6 really.
Yeah, you can see the call now from Soto Giants to throw that just slightly off the centre line. Pretty high, just try and bring those catchers into play somehow. Yeah, it just comes a little bit too deep.
So off with the guard once again. China just looking for a nose or another mistake like they got from Bruce Mount in the previous end. Don't believe Scotland have gave up 2 steals on the bounce here at the World Championships.
Yeah, just had a lack of focus. I think Bruce Mount will be a little bit annoyed to have let China give them some hope. When you get a big lead early in the game, all you want to do is try and close it out. Go home early. It's not really the mindset you want to have, though. Very easy to become impatient.
Grant Hardy gets one, just misses the wide one.
I don't know why I stopped there. I don't know why I stopped there.
I just gave that to someone new.
I was like, oh, you're going to catch that red.
I never thought it was going to be on the yellows, but I knew it was standing in wide.
I believe this time they are looking to come in behind. Red guards are fairly wide though.
Same.
Yep.
That's probably like the previous end. Wait to skip rocks. Have to come around One of the guards on the next one. Still getting no mistakes from Bobby Lammy and Grant Hardy on the peels, and certainly not from McMillan on the stick shots as well. Even less rings to draw to this end.
Yeah, this time they're indicating to get in behind the guard. It has a long way to move. A very nice shot by Sodijat. Won't see any of that. Bruce Mowat just elected to follow it down. We have seen that his first draw in the third end and the sixth end has been heavy. His second has been light. So
your last one was 22. Set it at hand. Yeah.
Well, certainly shaping up very similar to that sixth end. Two tick shots, peel, come around the corner, and now a freeze attempt by Mowat.
Still you, Hammy. Still light only. Waist good though.
Of course, that freeze attempt in the sixth was through the rings. This is looking closer. Don't want to bounce.
Good shot.
They do. Maybe a chance for China to make the all hit and flop. Sit two buried.
Yeah, just needed that to curl another couple inches. It was perfect. This time you see Russia sitting 4 in line. Yeah, Van Dorp. Looks like he's actually having to draw to give up 1.
Yeah, there might not be a shot here to score at all.
Just putting the battering weight.
Yeah, just heavy tap, try and get one of them out. Sit for second.
Wow. The score now 5-3 in the Netherlands' favour. Here, Sodijat tried to bump the yellow through, it over curled. It's resulted in a chance for Scotland to draw for 2.
Yeah, you might think that it's maybe the end of this game.
This final stone is the 7th end.
That's good. Right off. Next fine, Bruce.
It's all there, Bob. It's all there.
Just needs to be a little better than fully 12.
Heavy clean, Hammy. Yeah, we're fine.
Good, Bruce. Nice throw. Thank you.
And there is the handshake. It's a score of 2 for Scotland. 9-4 victory over China. A great start for Scotland, getting a 6 in the first end. A couple of mistakes that they'll be concerned about towards the latter part of this game, but 9-4 winners over China. So, we are now going to bring you coverage of Russia taking on the Netherlands here at the 361 World Men's Curling Championships 2018. So Netherlands leading 5-3 over Russia. Netherlands with last stone advantage after giving up a steal in the 6th end.
Линия шире, линия шире! Шире. Только Артур. Можно ждать, можно ждать.
Russia playing the red stones,
Валить,
Netherlands yellow.
делаем. Сип. Подождать, можно ждать. Сип. Нельзя. Сип. Давай. Да, еще перевалить. Сип. Хорош.
Russia very much in with a shout of making the playoffs. Russia sitting on 5 wins, 6 defeats. Can't afford to drop to 7. Netherlands on 7. They're out of it now. But still can have an impact on what's going to happen.
Close. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard. Rol hem weg. Hard. Yep. Oh, is goed, hoor. Oké. Mooi steven uit.
Nice hit and roll.
Ja, space, jongens. Ja, hij komt straks van die muur. Ja, perfecte plek. Ja, je wil niet te ver rollen, want dan stuft hij hem niet meer als hij rolt. Ja, precies. Goeie call. Dat is ideaal.
Давай средний.
Alexei Timofev, the skip.
Я не знаю, может и привести, конечно, можно. Давай,
I would like a hit and roll more than the double.
Сколько стоит? 9 футов. Чуть-чуть поменьше. Да. Хорошая линия. Хорошая линия. Вот сюда смотрим. Вау.
Changing their mind and going for the
Нет, только
draw
Артур.
around the centre.
Ничего. Нет, нормальная линия. Хорош, Лёх, хорош.
Just found a good spot, but it's behind tee, so Jaap van Dorp can just come along and freeze this.
Het belangrijkste is dat je hem op zijn neus freest. Ja, ik denk het ook. Maar volgens mij, hij finisht hier wel hard genoeg aan het einde. Hoe hard wil je gooien, Becky? Wat zijn? Hoe hard wil je gooien? Steeds gewoon wel hek, denk ik. Hek? Ja, ik weet niet of je daar komt dan. Maar... Ik zou backline gooien. Deze hoeft maar... Ja, hij hoeft maar iets te bewogen. Oké, backline. Toch? Het gaat er meer om dat je hem noost. Ja. Want dan, als je hier afrolt, dat is veel erger. Ja.
So we're going backline. Try and
Wat zei je?
bump one of the reds through.
Nou, eigenlijk zelfs peppen.
Sit in on top of that red stone back of the button.
Ik wil backline gooien. Ja. Want het liefst wil je ook die achterste bewegen nog. Want dan kan je eventueel, als hij mist, heb je echt een shot voor heel veel. 85 voor backline? Oké. Maar lijn is wel het belangrijkste.
.67% for Jaap van Dorp. Well below where we have seen him this week. This one sitting very high for line at the moment.
Off. Carlo. Off. Yep. Yep. Hard, Carlo. Ja, je bounce je keihard af.
Bumps one of them to the back of the 8 foot.
That's always the risk playing the tap, though.
Let's jump over to Korea Norway matchup. It's all tied at 2-2. Stefan Wallstad trying to angle this Yellowstone in to the red on the button.
Yeah, took their time here to try and read the angles, figure out exactly where to catch this one. Catch a piece, you get it for 1, but if you ever stick the scar right on the red, it's for 2. And that is made. Beautiful shot by Stefan Wallstad.
Yeah, they now lead 4-2 after 6 against Korea.
Вижу. Нет, нет, линия. Хорош.
How have the Netherlands got with this one?
Volgens mij kom je hier ook geen shot mee. Nee. Je moet hem bijna over de top spelen. Ja, gewoon over de top, hè. En dan hopen dat je genoeg pakt.
It's very hard for Van Dorp to get shot out of this, Sander.
Ja, klopt. Ja, je hebt enig is wat dat je hierheen gooit, maar ja.
Yeah, they're looking at to slash double. That seems very tough to me.
Er ook weer in ieder geval 1. Van peel dun over de top.
Don't think you can make the nose tap double, so to speak, either. You'd probably come on the out turn though, play a draw, get a little bounce and roll.
Ja, misschien.
Not quite sure about this one. Got to be really careful here.
Ja!
Trying to catch as much as he can see.
Hard! Hard! Oh!
Nowhere near it. So it's going to be a steal of 2 for Russia. They tie the game at 5-5 after 7 ends.
Oké, we moeten echt even iets anders gaan doen.
Van Dorp and his Dutch side just struggling to close the game out. They had a good advantage. Now they're all level.
Либо вариант ничего не менять вообще. И вот пока катит... Авантюрно.
We're in the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas for this round-robin matchup between Russia and the Netherlands. All square 5-5.
Давай, 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 пониже, 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 пониже. Хотя бы 8 сделать полностью. Давай, 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 сделай еще глубже. Отлично же.
Twee, drie. 2. Oké, alleen lengte. 2, 3. Kan nog niet. Oké, dan is je 12-8. Oh, nooit. Nee. Moet zitten. Oh, sit down.
Don't want this one in the house. I want it in the free guard zone area. Is it going to creep in?
Okay.
No, it just hangs around in that free guard zone area, short of the rings. It's good numbers at the lead position.
Линия шире. Линия шире. Пока очень широко. Делай ближе, ближе
26,
делай. Свип.
26, нормальный вес. Нормальный вес. 26-й гард.
Вот сюда прям. Свип, свип, можно, вижу.
Свип.
Оу.
Сейчас я помогу
set up
еще
play.
10 сантиметров.
We're going to take a look at sheet A, Japan and Sweden. Sweden already sitting 2. Nicholas Sedin drawing for 3.
Heel bij. Heel bij. Nou als je kan. Bra.
In de lucht. Bra linje.
Oké, hou maar net bij.
Charlie kommer.
Japan trying to stay with Nicholas Sedin and his Olympic silver medal winning team. But they score 3 points. They now lead 6-2 after 7.
Стей тоже хорошо, Артур. Борт, да. Легче, легче, легче.
Нормальный вес.
Свип.
Борт.
Пол. Пол. Свип. Артур, глупый дурак.
Классик.
Это мало вес. Да,
Here's
11,60.
the young students from the Härnösand Curling Academy in Sweden. It's a pretty good field trip, I'd say. Never got to go to Las Vegas when I was in school. Of course, here to watch as much curling as possible. They've had
Ja, dat je in ieder geval je shooter hier houdt, denk ik.
a tour and our TV truck in the back.
Gewoon door het gat met 10 is ideaal, denk ik.
I'm sure their teachers are setting up the days and the schedules with lots of
Hij wil
activities
ook
and
niet stikken.
things to do. Shouldn't be hard here in Vegas.
Kan ook nu nog dit doen. Ik weet niet zo goed wat ik met die guard moet. Want je kan nergens heen. Ja. Precies, dat was mijn idee, maar,
maar
zoveel
kijk,
kans
dit
dat
is
je...
perfect.
Ja.
Als je tussendoor gaat, is het perfect.
Ja.
En dit is je marge.
Ja,
Hij
precies.
gaat er echt wel over de top.
Ja, moet je
Ja,
wel normaal
of je moet
gooien,
hem
denk ik.
hier raken.
Ja.
Maar anders gaat hij over de top.
Ja.
Je moet echt zo dun raken, anders gaat hij over de top. Ja, gewoon dubbel. Je moet minder dan een centimeter raken om hem te stuffen.
Lawrence Hoogman in the hack. Second player for the Netherlands.
Ja, hard! 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 Alles!
Trying to open up the centre.
Over de top.
Oh, sticks. the red into the yellow. It's a horrible result.
Okay.
Контрол. Гол. Легче. Слабый тык. Поднять. Слабый тык.
Arthur Razabov
Нет. Не знаю.
makes the takeout. Willis Hang just in the 12 foot.
Ну вообще веса просто вот. Хорош. Хорош. Девять 20.
Yep. 9,5. Wow. Dat is een jip, toch? Wow. Okay, yep. Double, hard. Yep.
Doesn't make the double.
Geel, rood bedoel ik.
Just makes the double on the wide one, though.
Hoi. 9-2. Ja.
I don't see why they need to play the hit in that wide one. Why not just throw the centre guard, Sander?
Okay, 9-2
You
zelfs.
ask me, I'll ask you. But in the end, I think the centre guard is being called.
Шестой.
Eighth end here
Повыше.
would be pretty fantastic to steal one if you're Russia.
Мы их в каменном доме не напрягаем.
Stealing one, getting the force, even the blank are all pretty good for the Russians, I'd say. Just cannot give up two.
Не добавлял почти, не добавлял. Линия хорошая. О, хорошая линия. Линия супер вообще. 26 поближе. О, перевалит, не надо. Свип. Нам эту сторону можно открыть. Да.
Does cover the red on the centre line.
Камнем в доме мы их не напрягаем особо. И вот это как-то на краю.
Нам сейчас не надо их напрягать. Все, 8.
Не, ну Гард более агрессивный.
Гард, да.
Here are the numbers. Lukov out shooting Huskins. 80% to 75.
Carlo. Hard. Hard, Carlo. Yep.
Only catches the side and rolls out of play himself.
10-9. Goeie call. Gewoon even moeten wachten.
So many mistakes so far since we came into this game.
8, да.
Добавил. Сделай вес, линия отлично, сделай вес. Конечно, можно. Внимательно вес. Линия отличная. Вот сюда. Можно 4 кусить, прям чуть-чуть. Кусить 4. Сип. Давай. Пониже, можно 6. Сип.
They made this one into the paint. They have. This is another really good stone.
Еще. Сип. Отлично. Я, в принципе, подозревал, что он будет ролл играть.
Ну, логично.
All the Netherlands can do is try the hit and roll. Just red in the head to the 8 foot.
Whoa. Close. Whoa. Close. Whoa. Yep. Whoa.
They made it.
Oké. Nou, het is gewoon 10-1.
нас тоже устроит.
Да, ролл вот сюда тоже будет.
Без борт, да, Лёх?
Да. Блин, ну там Виталя хлыст, там вообще...
With a chance to hit and roll underneath.
Я не знаю, у Артура тогда очень сильно валил, а второй не валил. Я делаю, короче, как обычно. Ролл туда тоже хорошо, если что. Поднять. Свип. 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 Вау, вау. Свип.
Have the last one too late. Must be very close to making the roll. Ah, great shot by Alexei Timofev. He's Russia sitting too.
Там был это, сейчас тоже художник.
Да, художник. Слушай, даже плюс какой-то был непонятный.
Я пошире поехал.
Да, пошире, ну вот.
Свип! Вау! Вау! Свип! Вау! Вау! Свип! 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 Держать! Давай, давай, давай! Свип!
See it again. Hits and rolls right onto the centre line.
Whoa. Whoa. Close. Whoa.
Gets one, gets the other. So, but does leave one
All right.
in the 8 foot, in the 4 foot.
Dat is beter. Ja, top. Goeie bal.
Да? Кусидом. Да. Кусидом. Нет, для нас главное кусидом. Потому что вдруг будет переваливать. Нам надо 2 камня в доме. Нам надо точно форсануть тогда.
Well, just a tight guard being asked for. Second last stone of this 8th end.
26 надо. Женя всегда первый. Сип. Воу. Воу. Оставляем 5-й. 5-й оставляем. Все, сам. Сип. Воу.
Very good guard.
That's a tad long, if anything. Definitely a chance to come around here and tap the shot stone.
Да, есть у него бросок на выцепить, как бы. Мне
I
кажется,
think it'd be tough to tap it out of the house here.
таким весом бортом.
But he would just come around, tap it back enough to sit shot stone.
Hij is wel helemaal buried. Doe wel een sissy hek, Wouter, dat is een hartje meer.
Final stone for Jaap van Dorp in this 8th end. Just looking to tap this one back for a single point. He's given up 4 points in the last 3 ends.
Off.
Needs this one to curl.
Carlo.
Is this one going to hang around? It is. He's given up another point. It's another steal for Russia.
Huh? Yeah.
So 5 points in the last 4 ends given away to Russia. They are leading 6-5 after 8 ends.
Ja. Blijf best. Ja.
Вот 25-й гад.
Да, вот. Да. Да, нам форс хорошо.
N9. Russia now leading for the first time. Steal in 6, 2 in 7, and another steal in 8. That is what allowed Russia to get right back in this.
Красава. Слушай, Серег, можно и с двумя сыграть.
Carlo Glasbergen, the lead for the Netherlands. Drawing this one to the wing.
Okay, I move back for you, let's go back. Line's perfect, alleen lengte, back for. Hard to us. Hard. Yep.
Buying himself some insurance, really.
Okay, Carlo.
Yeah, just trying to lure Russia, play out in this wing, keep everything away from the centre line. It's a clear sign that Jaap van Dorp would like to maybe blank this end, retain the hammer. So this will be a bit of a cat and mouse thing where Russia will try and roll in behind cover. Netherlands quite happy to roll back, keep it on the wing. It's really important for both teams to keep the shooter in play here. If Netherlands rolls out, free draw for Russia in around that centre guard. If Russia rolls out, the Dutch will just peel that centre guard and the end is pretty much over.
9,5. Yep. 9,5. Clean. Oh. Clean. Stop. Mooi steen, Carlo. 9-4. Goeie call, jongens.
On the nose. As we take a look at Go Aoki for Japan. They are trailing Sweden 6-2. Meaning to be fully forfeit.
Артур, очень аккуратно здесь.
Here we go. Nice draw from the young fourth player. Score now 6-3 after 8.
Tino! Whoa! Tino! Close! Yep! 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 Hard! Tino! Hard! Yep! Hard!
Hochman, has he moved it out? I don't know if he has.
10-7. Ja. Goeie call, jongens.
A bit soft on that one.
May still be just in.
I'd say out, but you never know. But this is where I mentioned Netherlands rolling out. That's just going to cause you a lot of problems. Russia comes around the centre. A lot tougher to get this blank now. Obviously the draw needs to be made.
Back of the button. We just saw Norway try and get rid of a few red stones. Very close to making it, just ended up keeping all the reds around the house. This is actually a draw to score 4. Kim Chang-min, skip of Korea, needing to hit the house really. Looks pretty good. That's going to flip that game around very swiftly. 6-4
Korea leads Norway after 8.
That yellow at the back 12, never really that much of a danger, but can't afford to leave it sitting around. And don't have last stone.
Воу, воу! Воу, легко! Воу, легко! Свип! 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 Свип, давай, 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 свип, 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 давай, 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 давай.
Hits. Is this one going to run out also? It does.
Да, это 10-80.
A couple of slack shots here in this 9th end.
Глупый мулат.
Try and ping the centre off, leave nowhere to hide.
Oh, clean. Yep. Yep, clean, clean. Yep. Okay. Mooi
Off
staan.
it goes.
Is goed.
Nothing in play now.
Хорошая линия. Пониже бы надо.
Нормальная линия.
Пониже, пониже. Из-под пятого нам все
26,
достанут.
26, 26.
Вот сюда.
Воу, 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 воу.
Линия отличная. Давай пониже, пониже. Свип, свип.
Хорошая линия.
I think
Оставь вот так.
another one's will peel this guard. Don't think we'll bother trying to get the
Вес
thing in
просто, я не
behind.
думал, что 10-80.
Да, я, блин, опять сильно толкнулся, и он опять сдох.
Ты, видимо, что-то... Я щетки же больше поставил, даже
Да,
чем
я
Артуру,
видел.
видел, да?
Huskins.
Hard. Hard. Andere kant. Wow.
This one looks as if it's going to be right on the nose. And it is. So there is your mistake.
Да, согласен. Чуть поменьше и на свип. Первая щетка легко.
We'll come the end turn at this one. As we see, one game has already finished up. A valiant effort from Japan, but they fell 7-3 to Sweden.
Хорошая линия! Делайте вес! Воу! Чуть шире! Да, можно! Чуть шире! Шире, шире! Воу!
This one from
Только Артур! Вот сюда!
Timofev.
Сип, давайте вдвоем! Сип! Сип!
A bit wide, just not finishing as hard as they would like. Should be able to see half stone of this.
Чувствую я, что седьмой камень сыграет.
Не-не-не.
Ja, laten we nou gewoon zelf. Kijk, kijk. Dan is het precies hetzelfde als gisteren. Dat ik mij de achterrol en word je geforst. Ja. Denk een haartje meer. Hier gaat hij denk ik wel echt.
They called maybe hack weight. Sure they hang around.
Kijk, het rol. Kan wegrollen. Moet hij de goede rol terugmaken. Ja. Let's go.
Well, this one looks very tight to the guard, Sander.
Yep.
Pass though.
Yep, roll hem weg.
Could have probably swept that a bit more, just to roll even farther away from that centre line. That's a good shot by Jaap van Dorp. Alexei Timofeev will still have to make a pretty good roll here. So I don't see the blank go up on the board.
Нет, шире. Ждать. Вот под этот. Сип! Сип!
Воу, там камень!
Сип, 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 сип. Да, сип, 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 сип.
I'm not going to make the roll towards the centre line. Actually switching up the call in the end to roll behind that red stone on the wing. Won't do that either, but at least force Jaap van Dorp to play the out-turn peel. Could be slightly less natural playing it this way. I know some players definitely prefer to play this on the end, but there's a stone in the way. And there's a slight chance he might jam the shooter. The red stone on the back line as well here.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Yep. Oh. Pull him.
Hits that one and gets over the top of that red. So are they going to measure this one? No, they're not.
Blank.
Blank end. So it's still Russia leading 6-5 as we go into the 10th.
En dan pak ik even 2. Dus de corner guard net iets hoger, net iets wijder. En dan gewoon mooi come round.
А если они найдут свои два, так им будет сложнее немножко, нет? Такой же вот мне нравится, 26-й, как Женя привез. Ошибка в начале дома. Да. 4 хорошие.
Tenth end.
Линия уже.
Russia leading 6-5 after fighting back from being 4 down after 2 ends.
Давай, давай, это линия уже. Давай, 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 давай. Хороший.
Carlo Glasbergen
Yep.
needs every stone to be perfect now. They're going to try and manage to manufacture a 2 in this 10th end.
Okay, my stand guard out.
Willen we nog een corner trouwens? Denk het niet, hè? Hoeft niet.
Линии больше. Чал дома.
Наесться, может, нет?
Нет. Чалов.
This one from Russian lead. Evgeny Klimov. Right in on top. We're looking for that one. A little tight to the house.
Is het ook oké? Zie. Yep.
9.
Oh. 9,5. Loos. Oh. Hij maakt de rol nog. Oh. Maakt de rol. Oké. 9,5. Is cool.
Push the red through and sit on top. It's yellows that are the danger stone, so Timofeyev, ignoring the corner guard, knows he needs to move the stone in the house.
Control. Control. Oh.
Это что за средний тейк?
Well, catches half stone
Очень
off
сильно.
the yellow, but catches the red as well and pushes it back T. Not a great shot.
Ja. 10,9, 85. Roos. 12. Roos, yep. 12. Yep. Hard lijn dan. Geen lijn is goed nu, alleen lengte. Alleen lengte. Carlo. Hij is nu wijd nog. Carlo. Back 4. Back 8. Back 8. Oké. Prima. Mooi steen, Carlo.
Yellow in behind the corner guard. Russia have got to chase it, haven't they, Sander?
Yeah, well, certainly give up two, you lose the game here. No centre guard to draw around.
Сам. Теплюс. Поднять тогда. Нет контакта. Это плюс был.
Really can't be heavy with this one.
12 вылет.
Much better leaving this, if anything, short.
Да это очень сильно.
Usable for Russia.
Ошибись ты в начало.
Oh, this is a disaster.
12-80.
Yeah, straight through the house from Razhabov. They're having to think here now, Netherlands, if they want
Die steen ligt als shot,
Draw
dus hij
around
moet die
again.
ooit hitten.
to play the hit and lie too.
Als je hem noost, liggen ze bijna op dezelfde hoogte. Deze ligt hem iets hoger. Ze wil het liefst wel iets rollen. Oké. Gewoon 10. Noosje oké.
Well, thinking to play that rule. It's a 2 here, but wanting to keep the shooter pretty close to the forfeit, just so it's tough for Russia to ever play that same freeze again around the corner and get shot stone.
Yep. Hard. Yep. Oké. Prima.
So it does roll very far, but keeps the hills pretty level. It's a tough double.
Что думаешь?
Yeah, could have done with rolling at least 2 or 3 inches to the left.
0.
So Korea 6-4 up on Norway. And this is Stefan Wallstad having to hit against 2 hits and stays for a single point in the 9th. They go into the 10th trailing by 1. The score is 6-5. If the Netherlands could play out this end, they would score their 2 and pick up the win. Just need to be nice and steady and nice and calm.
Might have rolled just a tad too far this time. Russia trying to figure out if they can play a freeze or at least close up to that yellow stone on the right and get shot stone. So just try and sit right in front of it. Just fully in the 8-foot. Try and outcount the one on the left. It's a bit all or nothing now anyway for Russia. It doesn't really matter if you give up 2 or 5. Just got to make sure you hold Netherlands to 1 point. So it's really pulling up for Gluko. But at least that is something they can use. Through the rings, not helping, but that is essentially a guard for Russia. Also a stone they can run in.
Yeah, difficult call. You can't peel both of them. Being forced to go in themselves.
Well, of course, this really needs to be front of the T line, just top of the 4. Can't come deep here and leave Russia a freeze. Doesn't really have to be necessarily fully buried either.
Needs to sit down though.
Pretty good there.
It's very good. Decision time for Russia now. Go in behind that yellow. That's what the call is. Try and just sneak in behind the yellow edge of the 4.
Дай поменьше.
Нам же надо 4, да?
That's a kind of shot you can definitely see be made by Timofeev. Great touch player. Of course, this is very much down to the sweepers as well. Communicating with Glukov at the head. Leading the perfect line here.
This one looks a little heavy.
Just trying to bury here now. It's a pretty good try.
It's a very good try. Gives a good indication of line for the next.
Oké, wat jij wil gooien. Als je hem wil pikken is goed. Ja. Oké. Maar gewoon normaal.
Russia's playoff aspirations hanging on by a thread.
Probably not helping that Norway's currently losing to Korea. I believe Russia has Korea left to play.
Have they made contact with it? Yep, Van Dorp pings that red out. Alexei Timofev going to try it once more. Try and get into the top of the four this time. Meaning that if they did play the tick, it would swing onto the wide yellow. Possibly jam.
Yeah, either that or just try and fully bury this time, even if you are back four. That's a call the White Skip's going to have to make at some point coming down the sheet. If the line's a little too high, like you said, Kenny, try and leave that top four. It's tougher to remove because of the back hill. But line's perfect here, just come right around, fully buried.
Is this going to take a seat? Will Jaap van Dorp have to play a shot? Will he have to play a shot? He's not going to have to play a shot. It's going to be a score of 3 for the Netherlands. The Netherlands pick up the win. Timofev failing with his throw attempt. So final score on that one. I've actually said 2 yellow. It's 7-6 to the Netherlands.
Uiteindelijk, hè? Ja. Ja, ik moet even tekenen. Ja. Ja. Thanks.
Only one more match in play in the arena. And it is Korea-Norway. The score is actually 6-5 in Norway's favour. In Korea's favour, sorry.
A huge score of 4 on the 8th end. And this is the penultimate stone coming up for Norway with shot stone in the forefoot. I believe they're just throwing pretty much a straight guard on this. And they'll just have to cross their fingers, hope for a miss from Kim Chang-min to push this game into an extra end. Already qualified Norway, but obviously hoping to pick up a win here, get the best ranking possible. Could prove important. Not only in the sense of who you'll play in a potential quarter or semi-final, but also choice of stones, hammer. This one's overcurled and is not a good try at all.
Yeah, Stefan Molstad looks rather perplexed with that one. Not sure what happened.
Karma. Peter sjøl I foten, kanskje? Peter sjøl I foten, kanskje? Faktisk.
Kim Chan-min just needs to remove that yellow from play, and he would pick up the win. It's a final stone for Kim Chan-min. Just needing a piece of this yellow. Already raising their brush. They know they've made it. It's a score of 3 in the final end. They run out 9-5 winners over the Netherlands, over Norway. Korea still in contention for a playoff spot. Fifth end, Bruce Mowat facing 2, looking to slash both of them away and roll the shooter. This one over curled onto the nose, and it was a steal of 1 for China. 7-3 after 5 as we headed to the 6th. China sitting 1 in behind the corner guard. Bruce Mowat drawing this time. But again, a missed opportunity. A stolen point for China. 7-4. 7th end. Scotland sitting 1 in the 8 foot. Bruce Mowat. Makes this one count though. Picks up 2. The handshake was offered. 9-4, Scotland pick up the win. Russia, Netherlands, there was actually a 3 in the 10th end, so it's 8-6 for the Netherlands over Russia. Take a look at the scores in session 19. It's Sweden who picked up the win over Japan, 7-3. Our feature matchup, Scotland 9-4 winners over China. Korea 9-5 over Norway, and Netherlands 8-6 over Russia. So here are the standings. Sweden sitting there in number 1 spot. Scotland will be number 2. Canada and Norway have already qualified for the playoffs. Will it be Korea, Switzerland, Russia or United States joining them? 2 spots available, 4 teams still in contention. Only 1 session to go here at the 361 World Men's Curling Championship in Las Vegas.
Scoring 6 in the first end, that's not every day, Bruce. No, probably not. But it was a good end from the guys and set me up with a few shots, and yeah, made them. So good.
Did it become hard to focus after that?
No, it wasn't hard to focus. I'd lost my draw weight, which was annoying, and gave up a few steals, which wasn't ideal. And yeah, we managed to play Hammy was playing really good ticks and managed to set up the ends. So finally got our 2 there to seal the deal.
Oh, you have a bye to the semi-final. Talk a bit about your goals and how you think your team's played so far this week.
Yeah, so we've got the bye. I don't know what time we're playing tomorrow, but and who we're playing for that fact either. But yeah, so we're obviously on track for our goal of getting the gold, and we're playing really well, and hopefully we can continue the good play into the semi-finals and maybe possibly the final. Hopefully.
Thank you, Bruce. Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, that was Bruce Mowat, who has been on fire this week, picking up the 9-4 win over China in their final round-robin game. So that concludes the action from